Hello, my name is Jillian Nayakin-Soti, and this is the Activation Chat. To clarify, I'm here tonight in Red Bank talking as a vlogger. I feel it's best. Why? Well, as I told a couple friends in the past couple days, I feel that it would be best for me, and perhaps other people, to, at the end of this year, take 36 hours, leave a post in those 36 hours of my phone number and perhaps a nice photo, and thereafter deactivate. Yes, at year's end, and perhaps February 9th. I'm looking to either make this a 40-day series or an 80-day series. We'll see the demand and my own energy level. But either which way, within that time frame, I wish to be not overly confessional, but open, genuine. You see, the key to creative is to express, and the key of expression is to connect, by and large. And I think that is something that was lost on me for a while. If you're not bearing your soul as a creative, then what are we really here for? Now, granted, it doesn't have to be overt, it can even be opaque. But at the same time, one has to lend themselves to it. It can't be cloaked. I think in a helpless desire to become someone of note, to become a master of charisma, a genius of expression, in the process, I have what they call flanderized myself. I've become an exaggeration or a skewed version of myself at some core arbitrary element, blown up out of proportion and made into something that is rather foreign to the fullness of what I actually am as a person. And the way that social media works, it's very easy to fall into that trap of branding oneself in a way that's not holistic. The fact is, at core, I have a lot to say. I have a lot of depths to share. And they come from somewhat distinct places with distinct arrivals. I wish not to cloak or bury that in some helpless attempt for specified forms of validation. I think that the best way to exist for me is to be defiant. I know, I'm well aware. I'm one of how many? Well, if you take each component of me that defines me, not one of many, but yes, among many others. And with that, I have many to share to you. And certainly, there are some for whom my messages will be reached, or better yet, received. And I believe this is not just for my followership or anyone who might view this. I believe this is deeply also for myself. It is simply very therapeutic for me to open up. I've never been a particularly private person. I've learned to be somewhat private in some capacities because people will read past what you write. But with that, if you don't fill the page, there's either nothing to say or none of your say in it. So I feel, again, it's best for me to defiantly share what I can in spaces where I can let myself do so. And online is great for that. I just think that oftentimes social media, which is nowadays, as I said to my friend Liz, hardly social. Its nature, at least nowadays, lends itself to a lack of mindfulness. You can't really focus on anything, any conserved or concerted space for yourself. No space is lent. You scroll down and then you see, people have said this, manifold, of course. It's there is no chance for concentration because everything is trying to fixate you. Everything. And not only does that cloud creativity, it clouds the creator's capacity to gain any inspiration also. I.e., for myself, I question it as healthy. The amount of time I've spent, any of you have spent, doom scrolling, goon scrolling, is immense. And it's not conducive to much of anything other than feeling as though the next thing will be the thing that really hooks you. And it does for a while until the next thing hooks you. And it's an endless conveyor belt of hooking and hooking. And I'd like to play hooky. With social media, I mean. So hopefully I stick with this. There's always a chance, but I'm pretty set on that. I look to post every single day until the year's end at very least. If I extend it, probably till February 9th. Maybe sooner, but, 40 days. Today's November 22nd. It's the 40th last day of the year. So that sounds like a nice countdown to make. So I was like, when is 40 days from year's end? Well, initially I was about having the 36-hour countdown post to be made. And then I was like, wait, I can open up on here. That's what I kind of found the internet useful for long ago. And I stopped doing it. And I have a capacity to do that. So today is 40 days from year's end. I feel like let's give them something. Let's give myself something. And beyond that, I'm curious to think what will be most salient to discuss that's on my mind as of this very moment, as of lately. A lot of things. It's been kind of stressful this past few months for many reasons, but it's also been very triumphant. For instance, namely, while my audition of I Wonder As I Wander for the choir concert didn't go so well or as planned because of certain stressors, my performance of Dido's Lament from Dido and Aeneas, rather, by Henry Purcell, was pretty well done, I would say. And a lot of other people think so. So I'm really grateful for that. Indeed, while my page is still up, you can definitely see that on my page. You'll probably be enchanted, or at least enabled. Be humble. Well, as many of you know, I worked hard to get the voice I have. And work do I still. The thing with music is, it's very easy to get overly enamored with the capacity to wow, or to show off, or to impress. But one forgets to express. And that belies one's job as a creative. I know this, and yet, as a human, I fall victim to that shortcoming very often. A lot less so now, because I have matured and I've chosen that maturity also. But still, I definitely suffer foolishness from my own doing. Yeah, it definitely happens. And that's something that's a process to whittle away. But between that and the New Works concert, and also many different musical and vocal victories I've really had this semester, this past few months, in school and beyond, I have a lot of gratitude for how far I've come as far as all of that. And I'm willing to share that gratitude and, joy that I take from having grown so much as an artist. Not just a vocalist, an artist. And I think at this point in time where I'm recording this stuff, it is another watershed moment to some degree in my life, because again, the key of a creator is when she or he or they express what's inside and allow it to exude, and thus connect with those fortunate enough to discover them. It's a transcendent event to create in that genuine and storied way. It doesn't always happen, but those for whom it happens often, those people are real masters, greats, geniuses. They really have achieved, and they will reap from that, and others will reap from them likewise. So I always look to match some level of that, but sometimes, often even, I get clouded away from that whole pursuit. But that's what got me interested in the first place. And a little bit of intellectual stuff too. I mean, I'm definitely as much humanistic as intellectual, but nonetheless, the key is to express, and the key is to connect. And with that, it is nearly sundown. It's gonna be dark soon, and a train is arriving too. Yeah, there it is. With that, I think that was plenty enough a ramble. Hopefully mostly coherent. Looking forward to tomorrow. Be well.